Hi everyone.
Uh,
Send in hi if you can hear
okay,
us.
people have
Okay.
started putting the questions only. Guys, just few things. First of all, we are trying this new feature for the very first time, considering the people who registered. Google Meet and Zoom does not support this, so we are doing this. Yes, we'll be answering your queries. So please just give a hi, or if you are able to
Hmm.
hear us, see us, any issues.
Are we audible?
Doing a tech check, quick tech check.
Okay. We are assuming all of you can hear us and
Okay.
see us clearly. I'll just briefly explain the flow of the webinar. So basically, we will try to include more of like a question answer round, but we also have few of the important information that we would love to share with all of you. So we'll be sharing the information, our experiences, preparation strategies, all of that in like in the first half of the webinar. Then we'll be handing it to all of you. You can ask your questions and we'll love to answer these questions. We would love an okay or got it or something like that if you understood the flow of uh, the webinar.
Hmm. And someone said if we can start the live captions. I am just seeing that feature, so give me 1 minute. If I'm able to do it, I'll just quickly do that as well. Okay, question also. Do you see any feature?
No, not as a,
Okay.
sorry guys, we are very not
So
very
we're
lost, but
doing it for the first time. So just quickly figuring it out if we can. Okay. So no, we cannot open the live
next
pages.
time
Maybe
we'll
next time. But
yes.
I think let's just get into it because there's a lot of things that we'll be
Hmm,
covering.
hmm.
Hope you all have like a diary or a pen so you can note things down.
And we will encourage that the questions are asked towards the end. We have given major chunk to the question answers to please don't write your questions in between because we won't be able to take it then.
Hmm. So
Okay.
you can write it down or like chat पे लिख के रख लो and then you send it towards the end so that we are able to answer it. ठीक है? So I think let's start and I hope everyone is okay with Hindi and English. Anyone has a problem if we speak in Hindi or should we just take it?
Only in English.
Let us
Whatever
know.
you guys are more comfortable with. No,
No
as
what?
in
Hindi or English? Only English.
only English.
Okay. Okay.
We,
We'll try to keep both
majorly English.
mostly English. If there's anything, हम बता देंगे. All right.
Okay, so the first question that came in was what is M.Phil clinical psychology? So starting from the basics, I am pretty sure most of you would know what M.Phil clinical psychology is. So, but for the people who don't know, M.Phil clinical psychology is a 2-year degree that is done after your post graduation. This degree is a super specialization in clinical psychology that provides you with clinical hands-on training with academics, and this also gives you the license to be practicing as the registered clinical psychologist, and the license is given by the Rehabilitation Council of India. And as of now, this is the only way to be practicing as a clinical psychologist in India. There are more regulation coming in, but as of now, 2025, how can you be a clinical psychologist is through MPhil. Uh,
More regulations are coming in with the new circular of RCI because there's a lot of confusion. M.Phil will be replaced by MA in clinical psychology, which would be regulated by RCI. So previously, MA in clinical psychology, a normal master's जो अभी चल रही है, it is regulated by UGC. But this would specially be for the core clinical training, as she mentioned, that would be by regulated by RCI. So that will be replaced. Most probably from 2025 onwards because even in our university the paperwork has started, but again officially when it's going to start, that is something which has not been notified by the RCI itself. So let's start, and before we start we have broke down the entire session into three parts. First would be the initial phase which requires before the entrance exam, then during the entrance exam would be a second phase, and then after the entrance exam what it is going to look like, how it is, that would be phase
the
3.
last phase.
So we'll begin with the first phase.
So, starting with the phase one of the today's webinar. So, the first phase basically includes कौन से institutes हैं, how is the admission process for the same. Government, private, there are different institutes. So when we're talking about M.Phil in clinical psychology, there are not a lot of institutes that provide like M.Phil clinical psychology, but there are limited number of seats as well as limited number of institutes and colleges that are providing M.Phil clinical psychology. Chetna is currently doing her M.Phil from SGT Gurgaon, and there are 10 seats.
Yes,
SGT
10
में?
seats.
Yeah, and I'm doing from Amity Gurgaon, and we have 8 seats for M.Phil. So roughly the number of seats are 10, 8.
6 also is
Also
there.
the
And
maximum I think demands 30.
so NIMHANS is the only institute which provides 30 seats, which is I think 23.
There's reservation also there. I'm
Yeah.
not exactly sure kitna hai, but they have reservation as well. Coming to the application process, you have to monitor कौन सा इंस्टीट्यूट कब एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म दे रहा है निकाल रहा है because all of them they follow their individual timelines. There might be universities that will release their forms एक साथ ही in June, but there will be institutes, I think SGT released right now.
Yes.
So basically you have to track the entrances, the timeline of it, and most important thing is that every institute, there's no common entrance for M.Phil. Every institute have their own entrance. They have their own interview process. So that is one thing. M.Phil is in both private and government institutes. There is a stipend in government institutes. It's IBHAS has it, NIMHANS has it, RINPAS has it. So all of these institutes, they will provide you with a stipend. However, when you come to private universities, there are no stipends there. To add on to this, whenever you're selecting for the institutes in M.Phil, there are few things that you need to keep in mind. That is, number one, if stipend is something that you would require, go for a government hospital. The second is that it is recommended that the university should have their own hospital, or if they don't have their own hospitals, they should have good tie-ups, at least good MOUs with good different places, because there are a lot of institutes that don't have their own hospital. Like SGT has their own hospital, so इनका in-house hospital है. They practice in the same campus, उसी में hospital है, उसी में classes होती हैं, like medical colleges. However, like in Amity doesn't have their own hospital, but they have tie-ups with different organizations, government hospitals, private hospitals. So look for कि कौन से institute का कौन सा MOU signed है before actually like going for the institute. The second thing is also notice the language. Language can be a barrier. If you are from the north and you take like
Admission in the south or even the Bangalore campus, for example, in NIMHANS, a lot of people expressed this concern. It was difficult for them to sort of understand the patient's language, because your entire work, if I have to just explain it in a gist, you will be directly working with the patient. You will have to directly take their case history, MSCs, and everything. And even if it is supervised, responsibility would be yours. So language barrier is also something that you have to consider. It's not like you will not be able to understand, but if someone who does not know at all, it can be a problem for them as well. And also, just to add on, Tara, to what you said, so apart from Amity and SGT, there are proper institutes only for mental health, like IBHAS. IBHAS is an institution only for the mental illness or people who are coming with only psychiatric concerns. Similarly, NIMHANS is the first founding body, which earlier was called All India Mental Health Institute, AIIHS. Now it is NIMHANS. So these are institutes which are specially for M.Phil and concerns related to mental health. Even Agra, IIMH. So that is there. Yes.
I think Chitra, you can start. Like we've covered how, like what are the things that you should look for, what is M.Phil, what institutes are like providing M.Phil, the difference between private and like public, hospitals. We can move on to the preparation strategies.
Yes. Just one more thing. So every 2 months, the list changes given by the RCI of the institutes which provide M.Phil, because every institute also has to renew their license, or what you can say the contract part. Ki, okay, they are continuing with the M.Phil course in their university. So you have to make sure that जो भी university में you are applying, their license or their contracts are renewed.
And the list is very easily available on the internet. Just Google RCI approved institutes for M.Phil. So you'll find these institutes. So make sure that before you're going into the institute, you know that they have a valid license, like approval from RCI to be conducting the particular course.
Okay. To move into the preparation strategies. So I'll just screen share one important thing that can help you is how first you can track your applications, because when you will be applying, just a second. So can you all see the screen?
Just say yes or something.
Yeah. Wow, it's a multiple window thing. Can you quickly say yes if you can see the screen when I...
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, great.
So this is what I made for my application process. University number, when you'll be applying, you'll have to keep all these details ready. Your application fee, how much is the fee of the application, because application fee also ranges from 1,000 to 4,000 per application. So there are applications which will cost you 3,000 alone. There will be applications which will cost you minimum 1,000 or 1,200. Then on what date I filled it, what was the transaction number, last date to fill, to keep a track कि अच्छा कौन कौन से बचे हैं, expected date or month for exam, कितनी seats है, stipend if it's there or not, and which batch, and then the fee. So these were the parameters that I wanted to keep in mind when I'm filling the application form. This is something that
form number is very important, guys, because if you lose a form number, you won't be able to log in. There are literally multiple form numbers. You won't be able to track it. It's better that if you make like a list or something like that. When I did it, I just made a table on my notes app in my phone so that I can track it. The form number is something that I still have to use for my official purposes at Amity. So keep a record of your form number.
Also, I cannot share this tab, but this tab basically was a quick tab to refer to all my documents. So before applying to the applications, this would come handy. This is like a quick personal tip. What you can do is you can write all the details that you have to fill again and again in your application forms. 10th K marks, subjects, percentage, your roll number, your code number, center number. So all these details for 10th, 12th, bachelor's, master's, any diploma that you did, or any work experience that you did. So what I did was I kept everything on the same page so that whenever I'm filling an application form, I can just quickly refer to that. So make sure that sheet is regulated well and updated, so that you don't also have to refer again and again to your documents back and forth, because that will create a lot of fuss as well as will take a lot of time. Okay, so all right, the picture is blurred. We can share a screenshot of the table in the WhatsApp.
It's basically a table with like different. I think she read it out loud, so समझ आ गया होगा.
Right. Okay. So next thing that we are coming into the preparation process. So a lot of people have this apprehension कि start कहाँ से करें, where to start from, where to do things from. So what I did and what we also referred is, first, before preparing, collect the syllabus. Now, what is exactly the syllabus? If you see, there is a syllabus for NET which is given by the NTA and it's there on the website. So include the NET syllabus, but apart from NET, because NET does not have abnormal psychology at all. So clinical psychology, abnormal psychology is included, like a major chunk of it. We'll share the WhatsApp group link. I think Garima, if you can, then please just share it in the group itself. She's one of the TDP members, so she'll share it in the chat itself. So what was it? Yeah, so don't ask questions in between, I lost my flow. So what you have to do is first you collect the syllabus, and with each syllabus there are multiple things. So it's like research, maybe there are specific things that can be focused upon in biopsychology also, clinical psychology also, anything and everything. So what I did was, I don't know if you guys know that Raksha Rajesh, she's one of the best clinical psychologist with practicing experience. So she made this tool called a Gantt chart. So I can screen share it just for you to have a reference. This is the Gantt chart. So you might have seen it, you might not have seen it. It has all the instructions of how to use, what method worked for her, then all the things what are the applications. Again, she also made this thing, but I made it privately. Then confidence score is in the starting, how much you have, like how much would you rate yourself. So after 3 months of preparation you can rate yourself, after 6 months of preparation you can rate yourself. And then there are different topics in psychopathology. So here you can write your status, then how much time it will take for you to complete one topic, when did you start, and kab tak you have to complete. So you can set deadlines and timelines for yourself here. So what I used it for was having all the syllabus list down, because this covers everything and anything. And then this is something I did use in between, I did not use in between
And
as
this
well.
is very helpful because, okay, NTA has NETCA syllabus. Nobody will give you M.Phil syllabus for the entrance. The only document that is available for M.Phil syllabus is the syllabus that is taught to you in M.Phil first year, second year. There's no particular syllabus for M.Phil, but this document is a great resource in itself because it has the syllabus for preparation of entrances. So this will come in very handy to all of you if you want to get this. Chetna, please.
I think
Huh.
Garima just said that the Gantt chart is not visible. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Okay, okay.
Okay, we got it.
I don't know why it's
Can you
not
show it on your
visible.
phone?
Yes, I'll just open it on my phone quickly for your reference.
Hmm.
Thank you, Garima, for calling. I think you can continue till the time I.
So basically, this is a very helpful like resource. So you can, if you want, and this is a resource that will come in very handy preparation wise while you're preparing how to go about things. This is also like a guide book for everything that you need in your M.Phil preparation. Chitra, is it?
Yes. I know that this is not something that you expected, but let me just keep it in view only. हाँ, अब ठीक है. Okay. Can you all see? Is it visible?
Yes, no.
Not visible? Okay. Okay. So basically, I'll just give you a brief. Okay. We'll send you a link. Okay. We will send you the link, which will have like a preview of this thing. Why we are saying this thing is this is something that can be helpful, is that you don't have to like go everywhere, because there's a lot of sources.
So I can tell you कि इसमें है क्या क्या, ठीक है? So basically, there's a pep talk page, ठीक है? This is the pep talk page, okay? जितना you can see, that पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. I'll just explain ऊपर ऊपर से कि ये है क्या. It has how can we use this. There are tests, resources that you can use. There are different.
Short make, but I'll just tell you all the topics, subtopics, everything is included. This basically has all the topics. You don't have to worry about the syllabus ki kya kya aur bach raha hai, kya kya aur karna hai. So apart from cognitive psychology, biopsychology, biostatistics, research, clinical psychology, Indian psychology, all of these topics. Apart from that, there is psychodiagnostic, which means tests. There are a lot of tests. So this document will share the link of the document. So this is a paid resource by her. So what we are telling you is that this is a resource which was like something that helped us completely. So you can rely, because both of us has used this source.
And this is a resource that we would recommend you to invest in. This will be your guide how to navigate things. So this is something that you
Yeah.
can.
Otherwise, if you do not wish to have the resource, what you can do is take the net syllabus and add anything and everything that comes under abnormal psychology, which means all the disorders, ICD 10, DSM 5, and I think major is also difference between ICD 10 and ICD 11. This is called Gantt chart. We will send you a link, because with that link you will also
Get
get
a
discount.
10%
So
discount.
we talked to her and we said that if people are buying this resource, then they can also get a 10% discount. So the link that we give, make sure that you are buying it through that resource, otherwise it will be costly. So there's 10% discount, so you will get it in lesser price than it is actually priced at. So coming to the next thing, so topics is something you now know, okay, all of these things are coming. Now how to prepare and how to start the preparation, it depends on first the number of months that you are taking to prepare. A lot of people take a year gap and they prepare. A lot of people prepare in 6 months. A lot of people prepare in 3 months, and a lot of prepare in 2 months. Just and they also see, okay, this time we just want to give and see how much it is going to work, how much it's not going to work out. So ऐसा नहीं है that जो पूरे पूरे साल prepare कर रहा है that is the best way to prepare. It's not like that. We both did our masters, and after masters I think we gave 3 months. I think I personally gave 3 months.
My first entrance was literally within 15 days of my last master's exam. My farewell and my first M.Phil exam was 15 days gap.
Yeah. So basically, you have to keep preparing. If you are in the final year of your masters, then make sure जैसे ही final semester start हो, you are collecting the resources, you are collecting the information about all these things, the application process, seeing YouTube videos. एक basic होता है ना, that you are scanning all the information which revolves around M.Phil. Then I believe that one 1 month to 1.5 month should only be invested in solving MCQs, PYQs, only that, nothing else. Because when you will be giving these entrances, a lot of times you have to do quick thinking. So you will be given 1 minute per MCQ, and in institutes like IBHAS, it will be less than 1 minute. So sometimes the paper would be around 60 minutes, sometimes 2 hours. So I'll tell you for each institute how was it in the next phase. But when you are preparing, make sure 1.5 months is just for solving MCQs. Now, what we also did, both of us were, after knowing the topics, we made sure that we are not covering like not the entire chunk. Like if I'm doing biopsychology, I'm also pairing it up with another subject so that it doesn't get monotonous. So I can pair biopsych with something which I find is more easier, like social psychology. So half of the day I do biopsych, half of the day I do social psych. So this is something like, make sure that when you're starting with PYQs, at least 60% of your syllabus is something that you have covered, right? Because when you will be doing MCQs, a lot of syllabus will also be covered through that, because you will be going back and forth. So MCQs is something that will highly stress on. Do not miss on that. And you can also do this thing ki, acha, in the day whatever you prepared or whatever you
उसके
studied,
MCQs कर ली.
yeah.
So if like I am doing learning and memory today, then I pick up like 100 MCQs for learning and memory. So this is also one strategy that you can use. Apart from that, something that really worked for me was I made a small notebook. That was my glossary notebook. So I basically there are a lot of questions. Like I'll tell you, like 40% of the paper will just be definition questions in M.Phil. But there are so many definitions, there's so many terms that you might actually forget कि कौन सा क्या है. So what I did, I made a notebook जहाँ पे मैंने सिर्फ एक term and what is it, I have defined it. Okay, in 2 lines maximum. Okay, like what is motivation? Okay, then I wrote the definition of motivation. Okay, so the different concept, variable intervals. What are variable intervals? So I've written that in 1 line. Another thing that is obviously a part of later, towards the after you're done with previous year question papers, towards the end of the when you're actually starting to give exams, one thing that you can do is do start with your revision. Revision is very important. Uh, as soon as you start doing your PYQs, you're also supposed to start revising what you have studied earlier. So what I used to do is that if I have written 3 pages of notes today, Then I'll read these 3 pages of notes. The next day, if I've written like 2 more pages, so I'll read 3 plus 2 pages. This is called additive revision. So you read on day one plus day two, and then on day three you read day one plus day two plus day three. So you keep on adding it. So by the end of the whole process, the starting 50 pages of your notebook will be something that is so ingrained in your brain that you cannot forget it. So this is something that really helps.
Another thing I'll add is, apart from the glossary thing, like the definition and what does it mean, one important thing is, two important things. First, the books aspect. Questions are there. Who wrote this book? This book was written by whom? And then they are also like match the following. Ki who wrote this book? Ka match the following you have to do. So for that, whenever you are reading or whenever you're coming across things, make sure एक page पे you keep writing, okay, this is the book written by this. But to make it simpler, I have already posted the whole entire list, which has like 40 books and 40 authors of these books, like Freud ne kaun kaun se likhi, Carl Jung ne, Karen Horney, Erich Fromm, all of these authors, which books they have written. I have put it on my LinkedIn. It is open source, everyone can see it. By the name Chetna Road, I think it is the last post that I did. So that is more than enough. I have compiled it from all the reading materials that I did, even LinkedIn post, and even the previous year question papers. So the author and the book part, I think you can do it from there. That is more than enough for your preparation. Second important thing was that whenever you are studying, you need to know who gave the particular term. For example, who gave the stages of change model, who gave Ebbinghaus curve. So all the terms, all the terminology, who gave which concept, kaun sa model kisne diya,
And especially in which year?
yeah, which year as
So
well.
year. So whenever you're making the list, you can also add, okay, in this year this was done. Apart from that, I think we are getting a lot of questions also. We have missed the resources. What are the resources that we referred and you all can refer? So a lot of people, they take coaching tuition. I think none of us
We did not, but it's not like you
cannot take it. Uh, I was simultaneously also preparing for UGC Net, so I had an Academica subscription that really worked out for me. But I'm not a very video dekh ke padhne wala person. But I kept it as a resource. There are good resources by Power Within. The PYQs are nice. The content is not something that I am a fan of, but the previous year question papers are really good in PYQs. There's also Sizim.
Sizim is there. So these are organizations who have prepared the question papers and all of it. So if you ask me personally, I did not take anything as in Power Within, Sizim. I did not take coaching. What I invested in was previous year question papers.
We basically invested in the resources these organizations provide. So they, if you like purchase them, they'll send you binders. So these binders are something that we can do. Okay, and apart from that, we are also going to launch our notes soon. So we have been preparing for TDP notes for a really, really long time, and me and Chetna both have collaborated on them. The team has collaborated on them. So this will also be a great, great resource to invest in, because we have cleared entrances. We know what type of questions are there.
And the previous year question papers, there are multiple open sources as well. So if we find it where all the question papers are there, might have, might not have, we'll put it out there. But previous year question paper is something that you can invest in, because that will help you be prepared for what kind of questions you can expect. Also, it's not just that, you can also solve net ke previous year question papers. A lot of questions are repeated from net question papers as well. So last 5 years ke net question papers, make sure that you are doing right. Now another thing is that we have covered the books and author part, we have covered the glossary part, we have covered the who gave which concept part. Then there are tests also. So apart from your core clinical psychology and multiple domains under psychology, from organizational, biopsych, health, social, general, apart from that, there is psychodiagnostic, which is all the testing which is being done. So there are multiple tests, VSMS, TST. I'm sure a lot of you have done it in your bachelor's and master's, but it's very important to know certain things about these tests, which is who gave the test, in which year, if there are different versions of it, if there is a child adaptation to it, then what are the parts of the test? Multiple tests have multiple parts. What is the score which is needed for a person to diagnose ki pathology kab diagnose hogi? What is the
What are
threshold?
different scales?
Yeah,
So उसके MMPI के
MMPI, yeah,
काफी पूछे जाते
yeah,
हैं
and especially Rorschach and TAT.
हम्म,
These two tests are very important that you will have to know which number of card is called what. Like card number 7 is called the mother card. Card number 6 is called the sex card, right? Yeah. So different cards have different words. So questions like these can
and
also come.
like in an adaptation different, like if we are talking about Rorschach कितने scoring systems है,
Hmm.
okay, if we're talking about TAT, Indian adaptation किसने दिया है, ओरिजिनल एडेप्टेशन किसने दिया है, नंबर ऑफ कार्ड्स ओरिजिनल में कितने हैं, नंबर ऑफ कार्ड्स तुम्हारे इंडियन एडेप्टेशन में कितने हैं, व्हाट आर द बेसिस ऑन व्हिच वी सिलेक्ट द कार्ड्स.
Also the application of the test, कहाँ पे ये काम आ सकता है, for what purpose. Also you should know if the diagnosis is OCD, so OCD के लिए what are the assessments that can use, like Y-box, if it's depression, Beck depression inventory, Hamilton depression, HD. So there are multiple scales and you need to know each of them. So also I have already actually made a post on this. So I also covered all these tests and exactly what you need to cover for each test. So that is also something that I've made. I'll share it in the WhatsApp group once again.
Okay, so we'll be moving forward with the actual entrances and interview part. Chitra, you want to just take up the entrances briefly? Like, what is the...
Right. So I'll just explain you the timeline. So since I gave in 2024, literally like almost a year back, so the timeline starts around Feb. So the first application that was filled was for IIMH, which is in Agra. Okay, but that did not take place. Or you have to also make sure, you have to prepare mentally that there are going to be times where you will be giving the money, fill the application form, but the test will not take place for a very long time. So IIMH Agra did not do the entrance till July end, and it was
Amity Gurgaon did their entrance when I gave it in September.
Wow. So you have to be prepared for all of these glitches, the issues, the scoring keys. ये सब होगा. So be prepared for that. So I think the first entrance was 29th May for RML, which is in Delhi. Ramlal Manohar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then I think 9th was Nimhans. So yes, you'll have to go to Nimhans and you'll have to like book. Make sure for Nimhans you are booking things prior because the rates will go very very high. And Nimhans mein maximum number of people come to give the entrances, so it will be very very crowded. So if you are booking a hotel, if you are going there, make sure everything is pre-planned. So and also one thing that I want to mention before we go further is be ready with the resources in terms of your energy, in terms of your time, and especially in terms of money, because each entrance test if will take 2000, 3000, it will cost a lot even if you are filling 5 to 6 tests. And I don't know how many you will be filling, but it does take a lot of monetary compensation as well, especially when you have to travel to other states and cities for that. So you also have to consider your flight tickets, train tickets, bus tickets, and you also have to take care of stay, food. So इसमें भी काफी energy जाएगी already, so be prepared for that as well.
Coming to how entrances are, usually CBT type entrances होते हैं, computer based test होता है. There are 100 to 75 to 100 questions usually होते हैं. 2 hours, कभी कभी 3 hours बहुत, अगर किसी ने किसी इंस्टीट्यूट का मन कर गया, 1.5 to 2 hours मिलते हैं usually to complete the entrance. And it will have a mix of everything. At some of the universities, they also have a pen paper I think SGT का जब मैंने दिया था तब था, it was a pen and paper test. With private institutes, so it's not just the entrance, then it is also followed by the interview, which is also a very important part of the M.Phil like entrance process. So with some of the institutes, अगर applicants कम है तो वो उसी time पे interview schedule करा देते हैं, like for like top 25 right there and then उसी time पे कर लो, वरना बाद में list आती है and then you have to go again to the institute, which will also cost you money then to give your interview. Okay, when we're talking about interview, there are these 4-5 domains that I have personally realized that keeps on repeating in interviews. the first thing they would always ask you will be your, like, try to gauge your interest in psychology. Why did you do psychology? What is your interest area? What is your favorite theory of psychology? How long have you been studying psychology? What is your educational background? That is something. And the thing they would love to gauge would be your internship experience or your work experience with clinical psychology. कहाँ काम किया है, कितना काम किया है, जो किया है उसमें क्या, what have you learned, what have you seen there, something like that. Another domain that they usually focus is also your research, because M.Phil does have a dissertation research component. So they will ask you, if you have done your dissertation in masters, what was it all about? What did you do? What was the methodology? Especially what I have seen is that sometimes in the government, especially in the government institutes, they would keep a lot of interest in research as well. Like clinical psychology, so obviously is there because the degree is clinical psychology. But what I realized that the government institute, jinke interviews I gave, they kept on asking about my research a lot of time, and that was the experience of other people as well. Do you want to add something?
I think we skipped the timeline, so I'll cover it up. You continue with the
Okay,
interview
okay.
part.
Acha, oh, sorry.
It's okay. We both forgot. It's okay. Thank you for informing. Yes,
Yes.
you can.
Apart from that, they would obviously, as Chetna was mentioning, psychodiagnostic assessments is something they will ask you in detail. Theories, clinical psychology. Clinical psychology भी पूछ लेते हैं.
Symptoms, even stats and research भी they
हाँ,
ask.
obviously there's a वो academic जो तुमने entrance में दिया है वो तो interview में पूछेंगे ही, but टेस्ट काफी पूछते हैं कि अगर उषा किया है, कौन सा सिस्टम फॉलो किया था, what would this response indicate, अगर number of responses बहुत ज्यादा हैं, what can be a possible diagnosis, if there are a lot of ambiguous responses, what would it mean, personality test कौन से होते हैं, why would you use this particular test, something they would definitely ask. Core clinical psychology के questions they will ask. Schneider के symptoms क्या हैं, first ranks, schizophrenia के. This is
Vectors of illusion.
Like primary, secondary, like hallucinations.
So, yeah, I mean, in the interview, this will be asked, and also make sure one more thing is they are looking for people who are completely dedicated for this degree. So, if you are doing a job, if you are having like a work ex and everything, of course, it will be a good thing, but the entire structure and the environment of M.Phil is very serious and very disciplined. So, as like your entire life will shift. So, if you are preparing, then make sure you know that the next 2 years is going to be just about M.Phil. You are not having like a part-time job thing and everything, because like you are not allowed to give therapy. Like there are multiple things. Coming back to the timeline, because we skipped that by mistake. So RML was first in May end. Then June May we had NIMHANS. Then 15th June we had NFSU, National Forensic Science University. I think that took place on 18th because it got postponed. Then we had GBU on 23rd, and we also had RIN Pass. There was CIP Rachi on 6th July. Then 13th was SGT. 13th July was SGT. IBHAS recently took place in August or September. There was also like there are entrances for DMCH Ludhiana. There were entrances in between for IMHANS in Kerala. There were also a Tezpur campus in Assam. So multiple parts have
and at times what happens is the dates clash, so it's your choose.
You have to choose.
They won't consider this that there are like two entrances on the similar day. At times it will also happen that you will qualify the entrance of a particular institute and you will have the interview scheduled on some other day, and on that other day you also have entrance of some other institute.
I just want to stress on the paper for NIMHANS, because NIMHANS is something which is talked about very often. So NIMHANS ka 100 marks ka exam, it will be there. Negative marking would be there. You will be going, there will be type checking. The exam of NIMHANS is the best.
It's a fun exam.
It's a fun exam. You would know most of the things. It is always 10% of the questions that the rank will lag. So very important thing that you should consider while giving and sitting for M.Phil entrances is that she might get 87 marks, I might get 87 marks, but if 5 people got 87 marks, then first 3 will get in, V2 will be left.
And at times the ranking is also based on the age.
Yes.
So if I'm a year older to Chetna, I would have
more preference.
upper rank than her.
So there are going to be these differences. I know they are sad. I know
They're not fair. Oh, that's true. But
and these are the harsh realities. But letting you know so that you are prepared accordingly. And NIMHANS, what happens is the minute you give exam, your score immediately comes in. So you would know if you are getting in or not. The cutoff score for NIMHANS comes around 87, 88. Yeah, so you should score 88 above out of 100, including negative marking. And negative marking is there in NIMHANS, it's there in CIP, it's there in IBHAS, it is also there in what other institutes? RINPAS. So what happened with me was on 13th of July, three exams took place. One was IMHANS, one was I think RINPAS, and another was SGT. I chose SGT because my priorities were to live in the Delhi NCR area and other things as well. So you have to see what is suitable for you, where your chances are also of getting in better, number of seat structure also. So all of these parameters you will have to consider university to university wise.
One important thing is also for NIMHANS that you should have your documents sorted for giving and cracking NIMHANS. Especially your master's mark list, your degree should be in your hand. If you don't have the degree, they won't give you the admission, even if you have the provisional one. Even if you are willing to sign like a document that you will be providing it by this date, they won't take it. A lot of institutes, they won't take you if you do not have your degree. So this is a genuine problem because a lot of institutes, they do not release the degree up till September or like November, December. uh, so it will be a lot of problem. I got my master's degree last year, like a year after my master's actually got completed. So make sure that all these things are something that you are aware of at least.
So Maharashtra, there's Amity University. So Amity University is there in Gurgaon, Noida, then
Uttar Pradesh.
Uttar Pradesh, Gwalior. So there is also Mansik Arogya Shala in Gwalior. That is also a good institute you can apply for. So the list is there. You can see major if you want to know are NIMHANS, IBHAS, RINPAS, CIP. Like these are government institutes which will give you great exposure in terms of the intake of patients, number of patients. Then there are private universities. Manipal is also good. Manipal has their own hospital. Manipal has the highest fees.
But the language is a barrier there.
Language also is a barrier there, right? Then there are private institutes, SGT, Amity, Manipal. What else?
I think pretty much.
कितने ही if there are more, you can refer to the list. The after part. Okay. Before we get to the questions, we will also just give you a brief about. We'll also tell you the difference between PDCP and M.Phil. I think you can cover that first, and then we can take what it is like to be in M.Phil afterwards. Yes, there is Mahatma Gandhi in Jaipur also.
Jaipur में काफी सारे.
So between M.Phil and PDCP, PDCP is basically 1 year less than M.Phil. You will get the license or the CRR number as clinical psychologist associate, right? And the rules are that you'll have to work under a clinical psychologist. You cannot diagnose a patient without the supervision or without a clinical psychologist. So that is like the basic rule which is given. And the degree is basically 1 year less, but it's a professional diploma in clinical psychology, PDCP.
For M.Phil, usually the first year is for diagnostics, like your testing, and the second year is for therapy. When it comes to PDCP, you have to do both in 1 year.
So it is more pressurizing. And also for PDCP, the interview round is
five rounds.
There are 5 rounds in PDCP in order to crack PDCP. The first one is your entrance. The second one is your group discussion, where you will be put in groups of 5 to 6 people, and you will be given a topic to speak about. Ours was, I think, AI and mental health.
Mine was there was a case given to us. Yeah. So we had to discuss the case.
Yes. So there will be like multiple topics. Make sure that you are up on the relevant. So just say for example, right now what's going on, there is a lot of work pressure and stress, and there is a lot of news around suicide with respect to the working environments. Then there are also like something can come on suicide is what I can say from what the news is around. So make sure that you are updated on these news as well. Then after group discussion comes the testing and assessment. So what you will be given is you will be given like a chit. This is what happened in Amity PDCP. With the chit number, there would be like a test associated. So you should know the test, exactly who
They
gave
won't
the
even tell
test.
you the name also.
They won't tell you the name. The testing kit would be there. So I think I got Rabin's progressive matrix, and there was Bhatia battery, there was SFBT sanguine foam board test, there was Bhatia, and there were other tests as well.
Rorschach, TAT.
Rorschach, TAT, all of this would be there. So you'll have to write who gave the test, who
Which year,
year.
what are the sub-tests, where is it used?
Again, psychodiagnostics will be covered here. Then the fourth round would be the interview round. Again, all the scrutiny of the question, and there are going to times that the interviewer will be grilling you. They will also be checking your confidence level. So you have to just make sure that you are calm and composed. And if you don't know, you can say that
Sorry, ma'am,
I don't know. I'll read about it. Always end it with that I'll read about it.
I'll go back and check.
I'll go back and check. I'll read about it.
So I think you're missing the first round. The first round after the entrance is the language test.
That did not happen.
It happened with me. The 5 round is also in the official RCI document for PDCP. So the first round that happened for me before the group discussion took place was an English communication test.
But that was removed in my time.
That happened. That happened various हमारे यहाँ भी हुआ, but in Amity. Okay. So, but in the official document,
you can know about it, because if it happens, you should know.
Because in the official documents, it is given in 5 rounds. So the first round will be your communication test. Obviously, a lot of universities avoid them because they know अच्छा बच्चे पढ़ के आ रहे हैं तो English तो basic आती होगी. But like it's more like they give you a topic, you have to write an essay to check your communication skills of being a therapist. So this is the process of PDC. Then last is your interview, and then you
then you get your merit list, rank list, merit. Also, one more thing, there will be times you will not be given your marks. So you would never know how much you scored. There would be just the names of the people. Most of the times, most of the institutes, it's also going to happen that there will not be a merit list also. So some institutes, they directly call people who got in, and they won't
publish the
list online.
Bas
so
call jata hai.
Yeah, so there are going to be times where we will feel that things are also shady somewhere, but they are also. So being very blatant here, M.Phil is a course. As a course or as an entrance, do not see if you are not cracking entrances that it reflects you. There are a lot of things wrong with the M.Phil course.
There's a lot of things wrong with the system. There's a lot of things wrong with the number of seats there.
Yeah. So there are going to be times, I'm telling you, so that when that time comes, you remember this particular part when we are saying this, where you'll not be cracking entrances, because it might happen. Preparation takes times, and if you're not able to crack entrance after entrance, you'll be seeing that, okay, I'm losing out on seats, I might not get in this year, what will happen, XYZ, your thoughts will be racing. You might be having multiple breakdowns because you will be studying continuously for days and days and still not getting results because of the lack of seats, because of the unregulated system, as well as a lot of shady things that will keep going around with respect to seats, with respect to interview.
I mean, there will be people on the merit list, they won't be there in the interview call also. Yeah, I've seen that happening.
There will be people who did not give the interview but are one of the...
that is what I'm saying. Interview list mein naam nahi hai, but they'll be in the merit list, the final merit list.
Yeah. There's also going to be things, just basic things, experiences where for one person, 5 people are taking the interview. For another person, only 1 person is taking the interview. So the spectrum or the foundation will not be equal for everyone. This is something that can happen. So we are letting you know so that you are prepared from the mindset that it's not about you and your ability, but also about the external circumstances which are not in your control.
Quickly wrap up the environment and the workload.
Very quickly.
Because there are a lot of
questions. We would like to take more of questions rather than explaining these things.
The environment, I'll talk about the workload. Chetan, you can pick up the environment. So the workload in M.Phil is crazy. it is very, very different from a master's or a bachelor's degree, because you're not just studying, because both of the degrees that you have done prior will be purely academic degrees. This is a degree which is much more practical oriented. So you're also seeing cases, you're also submitting reports, you're also taking multiple therapy sessions, as well as you are doing dissertation, you're doing your regular classes, you're writing exams. Whatever happens in masters is there along with the clinical workload, and the workload is like crazy. It is
You will have multiple patients. एक एक दिन में you will be seeing 5 patients. You will have to do session notes. You will be doing the assessments. You will also be learning the assessments directly from manual. You will also be studying. There will be back-to-back tests. So my viva was just yesterday. I also shared it on our Instagram stories. I had 3 back-to-back exams. Like let's just say an internal exam.
It's the case with everybody. Like,
yeah, in all M.Phil institutes,
it's the same.
It's back-to-back. You give your exam. After that, you are seeing patients. You come home around 5:36. This is your timing, and after that you prepare for the next exam. So I had like 3-4 sleepless nights, and after that yesterday I finished my viva. The viva was I mean, I knew the answers, but there's a lot of grilling. So no matter if you know or if you don't know, be prepared for the grilling as well.
At times the professor, they'll know that you're right, they'll just say no.
So, and also like with this, you will have to just have a mindset that you know that the grilling is so that you are not on any high horse. Because kya hota hai, a lot of people do M.Phil after taking gap years, after working
After
3-4
years
years,
of experience.
after years of experience. So they want to set in this thing, even if you have worked, you still don't know M.Phil thing. So there might be people like we had in our batches, people who were married, people who were in 30s, 40s, 50s. So a lot of people come in with respect to that as well. Now, with respect to environment, it can affect your mental health. Very honestly,
It will affect.
It will. It will. It is very, very challenging. It will be a whole shift. Please make sure you will. You know that social life would be affected and impacted. You won't be going to the events, birthdays, parties, and you will not be able to take out time for yourself.
Oh, to top it off, there are 14 leaves.
14 leaves is all you get in an entire year. So we are still like saving on leaves. Like people, especially as language barrier is also there. So people who are changing states. So for them, they think कि okay, कब leaves लेनी है, कब
घर
लेनी
जाना
है.
है, त्योहार आ रहे हैं.
We did not have any छुट्टी for Lori or Rakhi or Christmas
or
no,
New Year.
New Year's.
No, forget about leaves. They're just 14 leaves. And this will include your sick leaves as well. So 14 is something that you will have to include everything personal. If you have to be at some place, kisi ki shaadi hai, and the environment is pretty, like, can be pretty challenging. But trust me, it will pass. हो जाता है, थोड़ा मुश्किल है, but
another thing is with respect to environment, I would strongly suggest that be in therapy. It will help you. It will help you regulate yourself. It will help you
just
be equipped.
Sorry to cut you in. You just got somebody asked if Sunday is a question. Yes, Sunday milta hai hame.
Sunday milta hai, but Saturdays, both of us Saturdays are working. Yeah. So she also came from her training right now. My training also ended. So we are doing this after M.Phil also. So my point is that make sure that you are taking care of yourself, not just while you are in M.Phil, but also when you are preparing. So therapy is something you can consider. And I mean, I'm sure everyone have their own contacts or they would know. But if someone is struggling to find a therapist, or if someone wants to know, then we also provide therapy services. We, as in our team of psychologists, you can text us on Instagram and we'll share the details.
There's a link in the bio as well. That's a client intake form. So even if not related to like M.Phil or something, but if you want to seek therapy and if you are interested, like if somebody you know wants to seek therapy, you can definitely reach out to us. We also have pro bono slots. Right now we are like full of pro bono slots, but keep following us. We keep on posting stories relating to pro bono slots as well.
Okay, now we'll finally get into the question answer session.
Just 1 minute. Before we get into the question answer session, TDP has also prepared their guide.
Yes.
So whatever we have said and much more, detail is like it's a 12-14 page document, I think. Might be wrong also, thoda approximately itna hi hai. But me and Chetna, like personally, we have curated that guide. That is a roadmap for everything: how to prepare, which books to refer, where can you find this, what is the process of it, how to attempt questions, how to prepare for everything. However, this is also a paid resource, but we have kept it at a very nominal price. It's like $399. So if you want to take this resource, that is something that we'll be very happy to provide.
Because I'm sure in this live also there are certain points that might have been missed because हम लोग बहुत जल्दी जल्दी बोल रहे हैं and we want to give maximum time to the question answer session. So it has everything in written form. So you'll have that document that would be more than enough for you to be prepared. So this is something that we are offering from our side. You can refer that, and in the description of this video it's given. So now since we are getting into the question answer round, we'll quickly explain our experiences of SGT and Amity so that at least you know one part of it. You can start.
Okay. I'm in my second year of M.Phil. I'm going to end my degree in the next 7 months, give or take. The experience of Amity has been a roller coaster, obviously, because the experience of M.Phil has been.
I think we can give the experience for what the interview was and the paper pattern, basically.
Then also the MOUs.
MOUs, yeah.
So the paper pattern, I would say it was moderate difficulty. It wasn't very, very difficult I think for all the amities, I would say. I gave Jaipur, I gave Greater Noida. I was earlier in Greater Noida campus, then I transferred to Gurgaon campus. Like, did not transfer, they don't have a transfer policy. I cleared the entrance for Gurgaon, then I was in Gurgaon and Noida. So the Amity ka exam is not very difficult to crack. It is on moderate, above average difficulty. The interview is pretty bad. They will grill you. They will ask you questions that are something that you have never heard of. So be prepared for that. For particularly Amity Gurgaon, they have now they have better MOUs. First year में मेरे इतने नहीं थे, but now they have really good MOUs. They are government hospitals. They have Civil Hospital Gurgaon, which is a big hospital in Gurgaon. It's a government hospital, so they do provide you the government aspect of it also. They have recently also had a tie-up with Wimhans. So Wimhans is one of our posting centers. They have a MOU with Cogniable, which is a child training center. There's also like a shelter home with psychiatric population or Saviors Foundation. These are the current MOUs. The posting keep on changing. They are also in like talks with having a MOU with another rehabilitation center in Gurgaon. So this is about Amity. Amity, again, they don't have their own hospital, so that is another thing. But I think they compensate it with the MOUs that they have. The faculty can be strict, but
faculties, I think, are going to be strict in all campuses of M.Phil. M.Phil is not supposed to be a degree where you will be coddled, where you will be spoon fed. It will be a ruthless degree, being very realistic. डराना नहीं चाह रहे हैं, but giving you a realistic expectation of.
But there will be some faculty, एक दो लोग होंगे जो दिल के अच्छे होंगे.
But like, you know
what the truth.
Yeah, so that's the truth. ऐसा नहीं है. About okay, about SGT entrance, again moderate moderate difficulty. Parameters will be considered from general psychology to abnormal to research. NIMHANS में clinical ज़्यादा paper like I think forgot to mention universities and institute like NIMHANS, CIP, IBHAS, RML and NFSU. They focus on clinical more than general. But Amity, SGT.
In my time, SGT focused on clinical a lot. My SGT paper was purely clinical.
Right. So clinical is something that you have to do. But general कम आता है, NIMHANS, CIP इन सब में आता है.
General बहुत आता है.
हाँ, इन सब में आता है, but less in like less frequency of questions basically. But बाकी जैसे महात्मा गांधी हो गया, all the other institutes, general is focused more. Like clinical is there, but general is focused more. So you also have to keep your approach in accordance. So what happened with me was I did a lot of clinical till NIMHANS, NFSU, RML, and then we had 3 back-to-back Amity entrances. So I gave Amity Gurgaon, I gave Amity Greater Noida, I gave Amity Noida. So my was back and forth. So I got into Gurgaon also. I got into Amity Noida ka PDCP I cleared. I was also considering PDCP, so I prepared for that as well. And Amity Greater Noida could not because of XYZ reasons. I would not mention it here. So basically, so for that, I remember she telling me ki general zyada aata hai Amity mein. So after the minute I completed NFSU entrance on 15th of June, and Amity entrances were on 25, 26, and 27th June. Lagatar.
And 27th, usually Amity Noida happens on 27th
June.
Last year also it happened on 27th June.
Right.
My time also 27th June was the day.
So in that 8 to 10 days gap, I covered a lot of general. So that you have to see कि okay, general किस में ज़्यादा cover हो तो कौन सा part we can do it before that particular entrance. CIP में again
Come back
clinical
to your experience. हम वापस वहाँ चले गए. You're telling about your experience in SGT.
So SGT ka paper was fine. Interview questions were something. So by the time SGT came, I was very much prepared, honestly. So I knew what was being asked. SGT ke time tak I got confident in RML, NIMHANS.
Starting वाले papers हमेशा थोड़ा difficult होता है.
हाँ, because you are still preparing, especially because I gave it after my master, so I did not even get maximum time to prepare. So by SGT I was prepared and I was able to answer. Now comes what happens in SGT. You are posted in clinical psychology and you are also posted in psychiatry. There are two different departments. You are working in a hospital setting, like completely resident wala jo hota hai na, that you will be working with patients directly under supervision and with, of course, M.Phil part 2. Apart from that, you will be posted in multiple specialities. So it is a multi-specialty setting. You will be posted in gynecology, you will be posted in pulmonary, you will be posted in medicine, neurology, then gastroenterics, audiology, pediatrics, all of it. Even NICU and PICU, where you will see like cute little babies, you'll have a lot of fun. So whenever we can provide psychological aid counseling, we do family counseling, we do child counseling. There are also very, very severe cases with mothers, especially postpartum depression is something which is there. Then pulmo mein there are heart problems, so anxiety problems are there more, so you'll be working with them there. Then neurology mein there's a lot of neuro cases regarding headaches, epilepsy, seizures, all of these will be neuro. So depending on the speciality in the department, you will be working along with the doctors to work it out with the patient. So that is the SGT thing. Now we'll take your questions.
Okay, sure. हम ऊपर वाले नहीं ले पाएंगे, नीचे से शुरू करते हैं.
All right. So M.Phil would be replaced by MA Clinical Psychology 2025 में.
Any difference in the
Is there a common exam for PDCP and M.Phil? No. In both SGT and Amity, PDCP exam is different, M.Phil exam is different.
Someone who has only 1
year left. So alternate option is PDCP, because PDCP mein the new option that they are doing is that if you are doing 1 year of PDCP, then you can get lateral entry in M.Phil, which means अगर आपने 1 साल का PDCP किया है और next year आप new regulation के हिसाब से आते हो तो आप सीधा second year of M.Phil में जाओगे. ठीक है. What is all required documents for interview in NIMHANS or other university? Your 10th, 12th, all the things, your certificate, your degree, then passport size photo.
If you're applying from like a particular reservation category ke under, then your reservation certificate is very mandatory.
Domicile is also very important. Your Aadhaar card, your PAN card, your even degree for your bachelor's and degree mein provisional degree, final degree, whatever degree you have, the certificates you have. If you have work experience, so you also need to have like letter of recommendation and work experience wale document.
Somebody asked books for clinical psychology use Neeraj
Ahuja and Praveen Tripathi. So I think I'll just show you. Yahi pe padi hai. I was preparing for my Viva, so this is the book, a short book, textbook of psychiatry.
It's a good shorter version of everything.
So this would be very helpful in exams like NIMHANS, CIP, IBHAS,
KGMU also. KGMU का पेपर बहुत ज़्यादा नीरज आहूजा पे था. Yeah.
So this is one resource, very reliable, pakka aata hi aata hai. And then for case history MSc, I have books available.
Nitin
Sethi. So I got it printed because it is very useful currently also.
It's not just during your preparation, but this is something that, and all these are very easily available on the net also. Like PDF मिल जाएगा.
PDF मिल जाएगा. So I got it printed, but you can get it. Fees for M.Phil, Amity and SGT. You want to go with Amity?
I think Amity मेरे को थोड़ी blurred out है, but I'm not very sure.
Okay, for SGT, it is exactly, I'll tell you, for 1 year, it's 5,12,000 and 500 something. So
They have increased the fees this year. I think
it is expensive.
हाँ,
SGT is expensive. KGMU is very expensive. Manipal is expensive.
I think Amity ka total like per year is 3 lakh. That is what I remember.
हाँ, Amity का total is 6 lakh
6
for
lakh.
2 years. SGT का it's 11. Almost it comes down to 11. For Manipal, I think it's काफी ज़्यादा. Manipal is 10 lakh for 1 year.
This is just the tuition fee, guys. Accommodation excluded.
Yes.
So
these are expensive institutes, but for NIMHANS, IBHAS, and other institutes, there you will be getting the stipend, and the fees is around 25,000, 30,000. So government is something that you can aim. Age limit for M.Phil admission. We had someone in the batch who was in her 60s. She had like all white hair, wearing saris. She was a grandmom, and she was a very lovely lady. So no age range.
Is coaching classes necessary to take admission? Not at all.
It's not necessary, but if you believe that you are someone who studies when someone else teaches you, या video से, then you can.
For non-psychology students who have last attempt and final year of masters, our masters will end around June. After that, only we'll be getting our degree. That's the process with everybody. We also gave our entrances just after our master's degree ended. Nothing can be done if you don't have your degree. You don't have your degree. But there are institutes that will give you admission without your degree also. Like when I got into Amity, Gurgaon, Greater Noida, even GBU when I cleared, they were okay with giving me admissions without the degree also.
With Christ, again, the convocation happens sooner than other universities. But again, if I would have gotten into NIMHANS, for example, or RML, I would not have gotten the admission because my degree I got my degree in July, and all of those were taking place in February or March.
It's better if you are from a private university, they release your degree much sooner. Like mine was a government one.
Which books to refer for the start of M.Phil? Neeraj Oja, Praveen Tripathi. Research के लिए you can work for A.K. Singh.
A.K. Singh, Eminem. Dove Mental के लिए Laura E.
Burke. Galati for your cognitive psychology. So you don't have to.
हाँ, सब नहीं पढ़ना है इसमें से मतलब जो लगे important.
Question paper में कोई doubt आ रहा है तो you can refer.
But I would refer for general psychology. It's really a passage पूरी पढ़ो. Like general psychology is something.
Start there only.
Like I did not read a lot of like core books totality में, but general is something I read in totality.
And also, one thing that we both missed was कि when you are starting the preparation, started with the most comfortable book that you are. Like जो आपने बहुत बार पढ़ी, like Passer and Smith पढ़ी है, so you can go with that.
So for us, Passer and Smith is the comfort book because
bachelor's we studied it together. Otherwise, if you are uncomfortable with Passer and Smith, go with 11th and 12th की psychology.
That's the best book to start with.
Just like scan through the pages
because you already know
you know कि अच्छा कहाँ पे क्या है because boards में इतना हो जाता है like अभी भी हमें पता है कि कौन सा paragraph कहाँ होगा. Okay. Yes, I think most probably the live will be available later as well, but we are going to cover still some important points.
No, you don't need JRF for stipend for M.Phil.
I think a lot of questions are there. Let's take quickly. How can they compensate for the private? So fellowships is there in NIMHANS, but again, private universities do not have any scholarship or areas. With respect to high fees, you can take education loans. That is an option that we can give. Is 2025 batch of M.Phil is last? Yes, I will get my degree till now this year. What should I do to be a clinical psychologist? Either you can go for the entrances because entrances start from April, May, but they go around till September and October even. DMCH Ludhiana, good institute, medical college again, took place abhi recently in September, October. So, जब मिल जाए apply कर दो. Otherwise, next year से it would be MA clinical psychology. Syllabus would be the same. Seats intake would be almost the same.
It was first week of October.
So you can apply to that particular course. It would just be an application.
Some universities will let you say like take admissions. Don't worry.
Is M.Phil better or PDCP to become a child psychologist? So child psychologist you can
like RCI has their own like diploma for advanced diploma in child guidance and counseling करके है. It'll give you the license for like child counseling. So neither one is better for being a child counselor or a child psychologist.
Yes. Is M.Phil but ये कर लेना हाँ ठीक है. I am not from psychology background, doing from MA. Yes. I have a person in my class currently doing PDCP as their course. They did their masters from IGNU, so eligible होंगे most probably, unless there are specific rules या किसी कोई personally नहीं चाहता है वाली चीज.
At my time, the rules have changed from your batch.
Okay, पहले नहीं था.
पहले IGNU वालों को नहीं करने थे.
ठीक है. What about the ones currently pursuing masters in clinical psychology with current? I think we have answered this one. If you have questions or you have to take like I say personal guidance and all, where you have multiple questions, then you can book a session with us. So we also provide mentoring sessions where we can personally give you answers to your particular question. This is a general thing, so we'll try to cover as many. Which diploma is best for clinical psychology? PDCP.
PDCP.
NIMHANS stipend, I think 28,000. I mean, between 20.
It's more than IBAS is 25. It's more than IBAS. 28.
Will PsyD continued or discontinued? Discontinued, but apparently there are only 4 institutes in entire India that provides it, जिसमें से एक ने retract कर लिया है. तो अब सिर्फ 3 institutes रह गए, including Amity. There is one in South.
नहीं, South वाले नहीं.
अच्छा, South वाला retracted. Okay. So you can check. 3 ही institutes हैं basically. Are you talking about final semester? Please answer. Okay. Can we jump onto the M.Phil directly after 4 years of BSc Clinical Psychology honors according to NEP, or should we do masters? So if you have done 4 years of BSc Clinical Psychology according to the new regulations, then you will be doing MA Clinical Psychology again according to the new regulations. So that is the sequence. NFSU review. So NFSU has 2 campuses, one in Gandhinagar, Gujarat, and one in Delhi.
They also have a Goa campus. But they don't have it.
Imagine doing M.Phil in Goa. NFSU review. I don't have it. Like, I honestly don't want to.
I have somebody who is doing their M.Phil from the Delhi campus. They have like a MOU with the Lady Harding College, which is a government college.
Lady Harding College is good.
It's a really good college. The footfall is amazing. I haven't heard much about the Gujarat Gandhinagar campus, but this campus, Delhi campus, started in my batch. 2023 was the first intake they took. So their MOU is really good. That is what I have heard. Because it's a government.
Another thing that I forgot to tell you, in SGT, since it is thoda sa off campus, in the hospital, the patient intake is lesser as compared to institutes which are there in Delhi. It is both an advantage and both a disadvantage. Disadvantage because lesser number of patients as compared to other institute, and advantage because you will be seeing your patient very closely, monitoring. So if you diagnose a patient with OCD, so you will be learning about the disorder, the treatment plan, the intervention, ERP in detail with the patient, and will be able to continue. So currently, I am taking like 3 OCD cases simultaneously. So OCD is something which is very strong, I believe, कि मेरा हो रहा है. I'm not sure, I'm not saying कि हो गया है, but again, doing the same thing multiple times with a patient, it actually increases your ability to understand. Does NIMHANS interview? No. So NIMHANS में you get marks हैं, तो you will get your admission.
IBAS ने भी नहीं लिया.
हाँ, IBAS ने भी दिया. What if someone does not have research experience?
It's okay.
It is okay. Mention it, be clear. Tips for exams with negative marks. Elimination method. 4 MCQs हैं, see कौन सा नहीं ही होगा. Then another is when you are also doing MCQ ना, एक question से you will be able to do 4 MCQs where दे रहे हैं M.Phil rehabilitation पे दे रहे हैं. So if you don't know the answer एक का, तो when you are doing the MCQs, make sure you are also checking the rest 3 options, because that will prepare you for an entire question for 4 different answers as well. We are not able to keep track. Any review on M.Phil rehabilitation? Rehabilitation wala course, I think Shivangi did.
So it is PGDR. No, this is rehabilitation. What's a diploma? M.Phil in rehab is another degree.
Yeah.
So there's also PGDRP, that is
Professional diploma in rehabilitation.
That is a 1 year diploma. M.Phil rehabilitation is something that a lot of people do, and they primarily work in the rehab setup than the clinical setup. It is much easier to crack M.Phil rehabilitation as compared to M.Phil clinical psychology, because not a lot of people are trying. Like number of seats approval are much for rehabilitation, M.Phil in rehab. That is what I have heard.
Right. So by doing PDCP, we can directly get admission in M.Phil second year. Really, no need to do the first year. This will happen from 2025 regulation onwards, when the new regulations will be implemented.
And in selected universities.
So
it's
please
an
check.
it's if it happens, when it happens situation.
We are not claiming. We are not.
That is what the notice said. We are not very sure कि कितना implement होगा.
Right. Is there no entrance exam for enhanced? There is an entrance exam. Please explain new rules regarding M.Phil. New rules are, you do your BSc in clinical psychology, which is for your 4 years. After that, you do your MA in clinical psychology directly to be a clinical psychologist. BSc in clinical psychologists will also have very less number of seats, because this course has started in my university.
Started in mine also.
So 20 seats are there. So only 20 people will get the chance to do BSc, and then after that they'll do MA in clinical psychology, and then they'll be a clinical psychologist directly. So we did 3 years of bachelor's, 2 years of master's, and now doing our M.Phil. So ours was a longer process, but again, RCI is,
you never know.
You never know. I have specialized in OB in masters. How it will affect my M.Phil journey?
They might grill you in the interview, but if you have good score, like so,
if you have read well, you will be able to do well.
Crack it.
What for those how to keep up with the people who are more experienced of masters, books to refer, preparing from scratch? I think books we mentioned. If you are scared कि someone is more prepared, a more number of experience, know that M.Phil is about what you have studied in masters till now. अगर masters उस field में नहीं किए, तो make sure the books that we have mentioned, the resources, I think guide में ना we have kept it in detail कि exactly कौन सी book करनी है. So make sure that you know the concepts, and when you do PYQs na, you will automatically have an idea about how it's going to happen. And one more important thing, what we both did was, initially we always noted down our scores for each PYQ कि अगर जो पहला PYQ किया उसमें marks आए थे 60-70, फिर it kept increasing with respect to practice. ऐसा भी था कि after giving 5-6 PYQs my marks again went to 60-70. It's like a wave. But once you are prepared and once you know the pattern, your marks will increase. So you will also know कि अच्छा where do you lie. If one resides in Delhi and has their M.Phil institution in Delhi, to do this, still have to reside. No, it's not compulsory unless it's in IBHAS. IBHAS makes compulsory. So since from this year we won't have M.Phil, does our eligibility change in exam pattern? This year, 2025, M.Phil is going to take place. Plan B, if not M.Phil in clinical psychology.
PDCP.
You can do PDCP, you can do rehab, you can start your own private practice, you can be a clinical counseling psychologist, you can become a child psychologist after doing your master's, doing your child diploma.
Some other field.
You can quit psychology if you want to. This is just for the humor, guys. I know we are having serious conversations here. Yes.
Somebody asked
how is Manipal for M.Phil? मुझे भी जो आ रहा है Manipal is really good, really good.
Language might be a barrier. Apart from that, it's
if you want to join any coaching, which one should you join? Honestly, you have an opinion. What do you say it?
Do you?
My opinion is different reviews from different people for different coaching centers, very subjective experiences. For Power Within, there is a lot of printing errors, errors with respect to questions. Psychologist, a lot of people are saying that content is too much.
Psychologist I took. So Psychologist की classes are too hectic to be scheduled for. Like I couldn't continue. Only मैं एक हफ्ते ले पाई थी. Because there are so many classes happening. UPS के साथ the fees is a problem. 42,000 something 6 महीने का course है. It's too expensive.
So you can consider it, but I'm just saying कि
invest in resources.
Invest in resources and self-study. Well, this is our personal opinion. This is not something we are trying to impose.
किताबें खरीदो, that
किताबें खरीदो, किताबें पढ़ो, PYQs खरीदो.
Psychologist's notes are nice.
We got license after doing PDCP. You will get the license for clinical psychologist associate. Stipend for IBHAS 25,000. My anxiety is off the charts after this webinar. This is not the intention. This is to give you how and what to prepare for. After this webinar, take a breather, talk to your parents, discuss.
And it is okay. M.Phil is not the end of the world.
We are doing it. Okay, very honestly, we are doing it because we have an organization to run and we would like to be specialized in something that we love.
There are so many people who are earning and doing much more, like so much better without M.Phil also. It's not कि अगर M.Phil नहीं किया कुछ नहीं होगा. It's gonna be fine completely.
And you might consider that हम लोग इसलिए बोल it's easy for us to say. There was a point where I almost dropped the idea of M.Phil and I was like,
and that's the same thing I told her. And जब मेरा हो रहा था, Chetna said the same thing to me. And trust me, very honestly, जिस हिसाब से RCI चल रहा है, 10 साल में M.Phil का नाम वो निशान नहीं लगने वाला है. That is what we feel. So it's okay.
What if you have no clinical internship experience and have done OB in? Yes, you should do a clinical internship in such case. What about those?
Can be done, but there are people who had no internship experience in clinical and they got into.
But preferably, please do it because then you'll have an
upper hand, like with a lot.
Truly, after this webinar, I have second.
Mentoring session.
Mentoring session, Lena. We'll guide you there. If we are completing our masters next year, what should we do? Since M.Phil won, MA clinical psychology would be there, so you can apply for that. Considering changing my the aim is to help you guys, not to scare you guys. Resources for PYQ. Hafsa Malik YouTube videos are there. Hafsa Malik has her course also for PYQs on Academy Pay. So that is something that I used, very, very helpful. I want to do M.Phil badly because I love to be a clinical psychologist, but what if I don't get admission? So what backups can I have? You can have, I think we have answered that.
PDCP and a lot of things.
Do you provide syllabus for M.Phil entrances as it is different for all colleges? No, M.Phil syllabus is anything and everything that you have studied.
You can refer to the chart that we were
referring. Chart that we mentioned in the starting. So the link would be in the description. We'll also add link for the Gantt chart also. So you can check that after this live is ended. Probable M.Phil entrance exam this year. SDT has launched one more thing I would say. According to the new list, SDT is not there. But क्या होता है कि हर 2 महीने में new list is updated. So it might be
universities keep on doing that. So like I missed the entrance for NFSU Delhi campus because तब तक उनके पास approval नहीं था. But within 2 months they got the approval before the course began. So.
So if you want to do masters in clinical psychology and also current M.Phil, will we have 2 MA in clinical psychology if the name changes? Yes. Yes. Can we take an Academy NET course for M.Phil prep? NET course is specifically for NET, but you can do the paper 1 part for M.Phil prep. Paper 2. Paper 1 is your general and mathematical. If somebody doesn't have BA in psychology and has MA, guys, for these questions, I would say please go and check the RCI document. Everything is there in detail. Because multiple times ये वाले questions आ रहे हैं.
What's your opinion on PsyD? PsyD is a good course if you want to get into academics and you also want a doctorate degree and you want to also be practicing as a clinical psychologist. Go for PsyD. The number of seats are way less. We don't know the future of it, but as of now, जितना चल रहा है, it's a good course.
We will keep uploading videos on this channel with respect to M.Phil. Like Desi Dialogues is not just a podcast that we will be doing. We'll also be putting informative, educational videos, our experiences on this channel only. So that is something we can tell you. IBHAS ka interview nahi tha na? Nahi. I need a proper session regarding M.Phil and NET. You can text us on Instagram. We'll tell you how to go about it. If someone doesn't have BA psychology and has MA in applied psychology, yes, you will be eligible. And no, in 2026, you'll be eligible for MA clinical psychology. How to be sure of your interest, any specialization? Intern,
read. If you never try, you'll never know. That's the
art therapy, play therapy. Yes, they are used to build rapport, but not very
because it's more of clinical. It's more of psychiatric. So not really.
Right. Fish or Neeraj, which is better for clinical psychology? For preparation, Neeraj Ahuja.
For actually being in,
this is fish, but this is a part of our curriculum. So this is more useful when you are in M.Phil. So ये जरूरत I would say
करते हुए fish मत पढ़ना, you'll get scared. It's first few months of M.Phil fish पढ़ने में भी बहुत time लग जाता है.
Does M.Phil focus on therapies other than CBT, RBT? Yes, there's schema therapy, there is DBT, there is EMDR also, there's exposure therapy.
It depends on the what type of case you are getting.
So all therapies is something ACT, interpersonal, acceptance, commitment, all the kinds of therapy is something will be worked upon depending upon your case. Good clinics in Delhi for internship. This is not an M.Phil question, but I've also covered this on LinkedIn. You can check one of my featured posts.
You can also check the highlight for
internships. There are Instagram highlights for M.Phil and internships. उसमें भी we have
there are also highlights for M.Phil, PDCP की भी है हमारी.
Difference between M.Phil and PDCP is also there.
Check these out.
More information on NIMHANS. Please let us know exactly what you're looking for. RINPAS review, good. Really good. Like RINPAS is good if you are getting it.
But then language वहाँ पे भी थोड़ा.
Yes. Is NET harder or M.Phil? NET is harder with respect to the syllabus and the kind of questions. M.Phil is harder because very less number of seats
are there.
Yes.
So if you ask me NET के questions, because I have appeared for both. So NET के questions इतने बड़े होते हैं, तो just to gauge NET के questions is very difficult. So question difficulty level for NET is much higher than M.Phil. M.Phil they have direct questions, but the competition is so much that it makes it difficult.
It is important to do lots of internships and bachelors.
No, not really.
Maybe start. You can initiate in your second and third years, but I would say keep bachelors as a fun degree where you are also exploring, making friends, having a good life experiences. Because M.Phil में you do not have a social life. Very honestly. Any difference in terms of job postings and salary between PDCP and M.Phil?
There is a lot of times the hospitals they put up a job posting, and PDCP also being a relatively newer degree, so not a lot of people know also. So the eligibility is just M.Phil, and they do not accept PDCP also at times. There's difference in pay as well, because according to the new NEP वाली जो guidelines है PDCP के लिए भी there are a lot of restrictions, assessments को लेके, therapies को लेके. So if you want to know more, just ask, like read the document about PDCP.
Okay, what can we go for other options after completing masters? You can start your practice. Before starting your practice, make sure you're taking supervision. You can do diplomas, you can go for M.Phil, you can go for jobs, multiple options. You guys are the seniors that I never got.
That's so cute. Thank you.
A lot of universities for M.Phil do not teach a lot of things in their course and expect you to know how is Amity and SGT in this regard. Do they teach concepts? M.Phil में teaching कम practicing ज़्यादा होती है, and they expect
supervision
ज़्यादा, and they expect you to learn खुद, books खुद से पढ़नी है, manuals खुद से पढ़ने हैं, and this is not just in M.Phil. I mean in Amity or SGT, it's throughout.
M.Phil में if you think कि तुम्हें आके कोई बोलेगा अच्छा हम topic ये पढ़ा रहे हैं, तुम्हें manual पढ़ाएंगे, won't happen. Don't expect.
You will be given PPTs. One thing I can tell you. You will be given notes.
Resources.
You will be given resource papers. Resources मिलेंगे. बट पढ़ाई ना ऐसे होगी कि लाइक आई थोड़ा सा टॉपिक कराया, दे विल एक्सपेक्ट कि बाकी का घर पे पढ़ लो, एंड देन यू कम नेक्स्ट डे प्रिपेयर्ड. टेस्ट हो जाएंगे बीच में, क्विज हो जाएंगे, लाइक दीस थिंग्स विल हैपन, बट मोस्ट ऑफ इट वी विल हैव टू डू इट अलोन. Thank you so much. What about doing a diploma course from IGNOU while doing a regular diploma? What do you have to say about that? Are IGNOU courses authentic enough? We won't recommend, but in certain institutes, it depends on institute to institute again. SGT में we have people, only one person to be very honest, but again we don't know कि किस में कैसा होता है. Heard a lot of mixed reviews about Amity Mumbai. Would like to know you from all. So I do have a friend in Amity Mumbai. Again, not the best. Amity Noida is considered as one of the best campuses because it is the main campus also. You also see na, that it is the main campus and it has multiple facilities. So Delhi wale se zyada hai. Amity Gurgaon is good, as she also mentioned, ki postings pe depend karta hai. Your campus, if it's good or bad, is
for private जिनके पास अपने hospital है, depends कि MOUs कैसे हैं. Somebody also asked how to know about the MOUs. So I'll tell you, nobody will disclose their MOUs. What you can do, and this is something that I did, type the institute and the degree name on LinkedIn, connect with the people who are already doing M.Phil, ask them कि कौन से MOUs हैं. Even if you don't want to ask them and you see that okay they are doing their M.Phil, उनके experience में जाके देख लो, दिख जाता है कि where they are posted.
Someone is asking how is Amity Greater Noida?
Greater Noida recently started, no, but however, they have now the same postings as the Noida main campus. So they are posted at the same places with the Amity Noida people. So they now have good MOUs. However, like it's still a smaller institute.
It's small institute. I mean, see, M.Phil में अगर मिल रहा है कहीं भी ले
ले
लो.
लो.
Reason being, of course, it also depends कि किस tie-ups and all of it. But getting into M.Phil ना, it in itself is a very overwhelming process. So after studying so much नहीं मिलता है ना, तो ऐसा लगता है क्यों नहीं मिला वाली चीज. And ऐसा नहीं है that you don't deserve a seat. You do deserve a seat. You have
And
prepared
if
for
you're getting
it.
a seat, take the seat. Matlab, very honestly, I'm not gonna be rude, but beggars can't be choosers is the situation for M.Phil. We were there, everybody is there.
And we don't want to, we are not criticizing, but we're giving a very realistic check. Because not everyone is a topper. Not everyone is. I mean, even if people are toppers, I know someone who got a fourth or fifth rank in NFSU still did not get admission in NFSU. NFSU में ऐसा था कि कम से कम 15 लोगों के same marks थे. अब even if you are having the same marks, you won't get it.
That's the same thing happened with me in SGD. मतलब I literally couldn't get in because मेरी age कम थी and मेरे से ऊपर वाला got in and वहाँ पे
So
close हो
ऐसे
गया.
बहुत सारे times आएंगे, they will be like कि why is it happening? But make sure that your concepts are clear and you are doing your work. Don't try to control the situation. Try what you can do at your end. How would you suggest someone to begin their career without M.Phil? Does M.Phil open more gates in future? Can someone achieve the same professional capacities without the M.Phil? Yes, and yes. You can become a counseling psychologist because no matter what, M.Phil में जो core clinical experience होता है, it's around severe disorders, it's around therapy. तो हर चीज after whatever is treated by a clinical psychologist, वो eventually therapy पे shift होता ही होता है.
What you can't do being a counseling psychologist or like a psychologist is assessments. Assessments is the bread and butter for a lot of clinical psychologists because they are licensed.
Expensive also.
Their license and their stamps count. So assessment is something that you will be missing out on. Rest, everything is good to go. Even if you're not doing your M.Phil, it's fine.
Plus, clinical psychologists work with counseling psychologists hand in hand. Even psychiatrists.
It's psychiatrists,
clinical psychologists,
rehab counselors also. All of these, it's like a combined process, a holistic approach towards a particular patient.
Also, with respect to clinical psychology, you will get a lot of exposure with the psychiatrists and medication. So we are studying all the medication also for each disorder. What do you have to say about IGNU diploma courses? Would be enough? If you have the ability to do a regular thing, do it. नहीं है, तो you can consider, but again, won't recommend personally considering the things that are changing in the field. So we'll just take 3-4 more questions because I think it's been 1.5 hours. I've completed my master's in in psychology. What is good to pursue M.Phil or PhD? We have made this post between M.Phil and PhD, and we have also made this entire PhD का क्या है, क्या regular है, क्या structure and everything. Last post हुआ, you can check that out for clarity. Good क्या होगा depends on your interest. If you are more into clinical or you are more into research, PhD gives you more of research exposure, M.Phil gives you more of clinical exposure. Do we require 4 year to be according to the new guidelines? Please read the new guidelines. For MA clinical, yes, you need the 4 year wala cheez, but there are institutes which are providing a bridge course. So जिन्होंने 3 साल की bachelor's की है, they can do that bridge course or the 4th year, which is the research year in many institutes, and then do the new MA course. But I understand बहुत जगह ये bridge course नहीं provided है. तो वहाँ पे it depends on what your institute is providing. That answer we also don't have.
This distance M.Phil, like there's nothing as distance M.Phil. M.Phil is a regular degree, so not applicable.
I got into PsyD at Amity Noida but couldn't qualify post personal interview. Should I apply again for the same? Yes, you can, because I know people who applied the next year and got it. What's the role of professors with both M.Phil and PhD? Supervision. Yes, they engage in teaching and clinical practice both. Yes, not only teaching, they are clinical psychologists only who have.
Nobody who doesn't have a license cannot be a professor for.
Yes, for M.Phil. We did not get license after PhD. After PhD, you are given a doctorate.
You can't practice as a clinical psychologist.
Yeah. Non-psychology students, I think might be the case. Please check the RCI wala thing. Usme it is written more in detail. But yes, it might be the case. What areas to focus on other than UGC net syllabus for NIMHANS? Do we question? Uh, Laws, mental health. हाँ, we forgot on that. Mental Health Care Act, RCI Act. ये interview में भी questions पूछे जाते हैं. Your Consumer Protection Act. Then what else? PWD Act. Persons with disability.
And हिस्ट्री में पूछ रहे थे कौन सा एक्ट कहाँ से बना, फर्स्ट एक्ट लुनेसी एक्ट था जो कौन से ईयर में आया,
क्या प्रोविजंस होते हैं,
पहले क्या था,
nominated representative, all of these things. Will you decrease sharing all the information because when you start moving because you're too busy with the plans?
Don't really.
We have a lot of plans. We'll see what we'll do. SDT's recent HOD in psychology is my old mentor at MIT, Dr. Rahul Verma sir. He's not the HOD right now. Vikas Sharma sir is the HOD. CIP Ranchi has interview.
Most probably yes.
Most probably
not
yes.
very sure.
Not sure.
Okay, I think with this we will end this session. Thank you so much, everyone. If you need more guidance, if you need more help,
support, even if you feel you need the motivation aspect, you can still reach out to us. We can guide you personally. That is something we want to do personally because we have gone through that.
We have been there. It's very. Don't. I have no words for the process.
But at the end, we are here. ठीक है? ऐसा नहीं है.
Irrespective of
what you were there, na bhi, we were those people who were asking questions and having apprehensions. We were also taking coaching classes. The same questions we came across. We were able to do this, so it doesn't mean that तुम लोग नहीं कर पाओगे. You will be able to do it. Few announcements. You can subscribe to this channel for more content like this. For the Gantt chart, which has all the syllabus, I'll just put the link in the description of this video. For the guide, M.Phil guide, M.Phil entrance guide, us you can DM us or you can fill the form. Google form hai, you can fill it in the bio. You will receive it in the next 24 hours. So that is a provision we have kept it starting safe.
We'll share the link for the guide also on the group.
Garima, please share the WhatsApp group link once again for those who missed out. And this video most probably should be available, as we said, doing it for the first time. So
we are expecting
that this will be there with people who has the links. Of course, you can share this link with your friends who are struggling, friends who want to know. But also make sure that if you are having the guide, then keep the ethical boundaries. That guide is prepared by a lot of information, a lot of time, personal insights, and there's a reason we have kept it paid. We wanted to do this, of course, so that maximum people can be reached out, but guide is something that took a lot of effort. That is why that is a paid resource, so you can share about that as well.
Okay, I think with this we will end. So
I would like to just take
a picture. Okay.
Okay. No, everyone cannot be seen, but okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
This
bye
was
bye. Good night. All the best.
Event.
We'll see you guys soon.
And we hope all of you get into M.Phil and pursue your dream job of being a clinical psychologist. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be tough. But it is not impossible.
Bye bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.